Hi there, today I'm going to show you what I think is the easiest, most inexpensive entry into gardening. All you need is seeds and something to put them in. I have a few extra things here because my container is just an empty milk carton, which I think a lot of people already have something like this around, and it makes it so you don't have to spend money on a pot. Seeds themselves are pretty cheap. Your standard size seed packet is usually somewhere around $2.50. I'm going with pole beans so I can trellis them along my roof to shade the front of my house and keep it a little cooler this summer, I'm hoping, but if you don't have a place to trellis, bush beans are a good option. You don't have to only grow beans either, but we'll talk about more options later. Anyway, you're going to cut the top off your carton if that's what you're using. Please be very careful doing this. Use a sharp blade and extreme caution. I recommend cutting through the handle first before cutting around the outside of the jug because you'll have more stability going through the thicker plastic. Once you have the top off, make some holes in the bottom. I'm using a drill, but you can also use like a soldering iron or wood-burning iron to melt holes in it. Don't make the holes too small. I'm using a 1/4-inch drill bit here, and I'm making more holes than I probably need because I've made too few holes before, and that was very sad when we got a lot of rain. Now you're going to fill it with dirt. I'm just going to switch it out for my one that already has dirt in it for simplicity's sake. Dirt can be expensive, so go ahead and use what you can get, but avoid seed starting mix or garden bed soil. So these are the seeds I'm going to be using. In general, plant your seeds at a depth 2 to 3 times the diameter of the seed. I'm putting them about 1/2 inch deep. One got away from me here, so we're going to try that again. Also, I don't show it here, but make sure you water your seeds after you plant them. And I'm going to add some worm castings on top, which I generally mix into the soil a little bit, but I found it doesn't really matter a ton here. If you don't have it, it's okay. Beans are not heavy feeders and they can fix nitrogen, so it's not a problem if you can't fertilize them at all. That being said, they do benefit from some nitrogen once they're maybe around 8 inches tall and have a few sets of true leaves is when I give it to them. I give them some fish emulsion following the dosage on the bottle, but then no more after that because you'll mess with your production. Again, if that's confusing or if you don't have it, just don't fertilize them and it'll be okay. Also, it's totally fine to mess up. It's a $2 packet of seeds and a milk carton. It's not that expensive, and you usually have at least 25 seeds in a packet for something like beans, so you can try again. Now, a little bit about dirt here. I'm putting dirt in the rest of these. For dirt, you want to avoid garden bed soil meant for in-ground growing because it can get compacted in the pot, and you don't want seed starting mix, even though, yes, we are starting seeds, but seed starting mix is sterile and it doesn't have nutrients. It's meant for starting seeds in small cells that will be transferred to a different location and different soil later, but we're not doing that. Our seeds are going to live in these cartons for their whole life, so we want them to have actual soil. And as far as other things that you can grow in these, peas also work well for cooler seasons. Both peas and beans are easy to grow for people who haven't gardened much. Lettuce is also supposed to be pretty easy, but I don't grow it, so I wouldn't know. Carrots can be a little bit difficult to germinate, but really go ahead and grow most things. You could even plant dried beans or chickpeas that you have from your pantry. Generally, if I know that I'm going to be growing something from my pantry beans, I'll get organic ones because the germination rate can be a little bit better. If you want something more exciting, you could even grow a small bird's eye chili in these. Those stay pretty small in my experience. The reason I went with the containers I did is because they're about 7 inches deep, and beans want 7 to 10 inches of depth for their roots ideally. A gallon is also a pretty decent amount of dirt, so you could also grow things like strawberries in these. You could also grow herbs in these, and you don't have to use a milk carton. I used a cashew carton here as well. I rinsed it really well. Salt is not nice to your plants. And before you go, I just wanted to show you these neat looking bean seeds. So go have fun and start a garden.